Boom, what's going on, everybody? You know the deal, you know the drill, you know who it is. And today I wanted to throw out one more idea for I don't want to say too much of a sequel, but did you guys remember how they did DMC Devil May Cry, the one with the black hair, Dante, and they were considered Nephilim, angels and demons? You guys remember that game? I'm sure you do, and if you do, you wish you didn't, because it was really bad. But I like the way that they gave a side story to Vergil. You guys remember the Virgil Downfall DLC? You pretty much had to buy it, and it was sort of on the lines of what happened to Virgil in Devil May Cry 3, but it just wasn't the same character. It wasn't the characters that we were expecting, which was really unfortunate, and I think that was one of the things that made people so upset about DMC Devil May Cry. Now, with that in mind, there are rumors floating around that Capcom is working on Devil May Cry 5. Now, before it gets too far into production, hopefully Capcom sees these things, everybody's ideas on YouTube about the new Devil May Cry game, when it comes out, if it comes out, and how it's going to come out. Hopefully they'll take into consideration all these ideas, but I'm thinking something on the lines of that Virgil's Downfall DLC should be a part of the next Devil May Cry game, the original Devil May Cry storyline. Now, I said that because of the simple fact that there are a lot of people that don't actually know about the DMC novels, but are fans of the video game series. Prime example, me. I had no idea that there was a novel explaining who the hell Nero is. And one of the subscribers on somebody commented on one of my videos telling me that there's a novel that pretty much elaborates on all of that. It lets you know why Virgil was so obsessed with power and where Nero comes from. And I think it lets you know how Dante knows about it. I'm not too sure about that part because, of course, I didn't read the novel yet. Eventually I'll get around to it, but I've been really busy working and shit like that. I'm really trying to get a camera so I can start my basketball channel and so on and so forth. But hopefully the next Devil May Cry game does touch on the lines of that, because we really need to know. And of course, having a novel is fine, but you guys don't get in the comment section and making it seem like I can't read. I'm actually a very fluent reader. I just don't enjoy doing it. It's just like, it's boring to me, so it doesn't catch my attention. So even if I did have it or knew about it or know where I can read it at, even if it is online, I wouldn't be looking forward to it because I'm not an avid reader. I don't think avid is the right word. I'm not a frequent reader. I don't really enjoy reading. But that is one of the reasons I think that they should put it into video game form. It shouldn't have its own separate game, but it should be a DLC add-on, because people really need to know. They need to do that backstory on Virgil and show us who in the hell Virgil actually, you know what I'm saying, had a relationship with, because he seemed like a very self-deprived person. Like, he didn't really need anybody else around it. This is what it seems like to me, at least. And I say that because from Devil May Cry 3, that was all we knew of him. Like, he really didn't care about anything else. All he wanted to do was obtain power so that he could protect his loved ones. But come to find out, the reason he was so hell-bent on acquiring that power was so that he could protect those type of people. The girl he had a relationship with, and I guess his son. Obviously, he must have known that he had a son because he felt like he couldn't protect them, so he needed more power. And that is something that they definitely need to touch on. Like I said, it doesn't need its own game because it would be insanely too short. It wouldn't be long enough, possibly. I mean, they could make it, they could stretch it out. But I like the thought of making it a DLC. I also like the thought of having Dante produce an offspring so that they can put that person into the new game. And just make it to where they all need to combine together and, you know what I'm saying, use each other's heads and powers and strength and abilities to defeat a common enemy. You know what I'm saying? And that would be really dope. But we don't know right now what Capcom is thinking about. Hopefully there'll be some kind of reveal at one of the conventions, and they'll kind of let us know what's going on with that, because Ever since this special edition of Devil May Cry 4 has hit the PlayStation 4, people have been patiently awaiting the some information drop about Devil May Cry 5. And I feel like they did it to kind of wrap you guys back up into the Devil May Cry series. You know what I'm saying? Because DMC was so horrible, people wish that they had forgot it. And they were like, you know what? Let's drop this DMC 4 special edition, put everybody in it, and get you guys back into the series so that we can drop this next game and you guys will actually be interested, because I actually have been looking for it even before Devil May Cry 4 special edition. I've been wondering where and when Capcom is going to drop this Devil May Cry 5, and finally we are hearing rumors of there being one in production, so hopefully they'll do something with that. Also, I wanted to talk about another DLC that they could put into the next Devil May Cry game, which I think would be really fucking dope. And it would have to be Sparda's story. Of course, we hear this, we read about the story at the beginning of Devil May Cry 3. I think it was Devil May Cry 1 as well. I think maybe he was just a myth that was spoken about in Devil May Cry 1, but in Devil May Cry 3, they actually dig a little bit deeper into the story and, you know, kind of show you this little clip or reel of him fighting off well, not really so much of a clip, but it was a nice little reading that you could read through and, you know, get that information. But I think it should be put into actual gameplay mode. You know what I'm saying? We all know what happened with Trish, we know what happened with Lady, but these two characters, all we know about is like what we've read. And there's so much story to them. You know what I'm saying? Especially Vergil, considering he popped up out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? They went from Devil May Cry 1, then Devil May Cry 2 that had Lucia, I think her name was. It was Dante and Lucia, and then Devil May Cry 3. And he had this twin brother that just popped up out of nowhere. Nobody knew about him. And maybe we did. I'm sure they said something about Vergil in Devil May Cry 1. I'm tripping right now, but those are the two characters that we absolutely need to get a backstory on. Hopefully, Capcom will see the Dante's Offspring video I dropped and at least take it into consideration. You know what I'm saying? It'll be really dope. But you guys get in the comment section. Let me know if you think that those two stories should be DLC in the next Devil May Cry game. I know, like I said, it's not going to be its own standalone games. They could make it that way, but I really don't think it would be, because they'd have to take Virgil's story and stretch it. Now, like I said, they could pull something out of their asses and kind of, you know, mash up something, but I don't think it is going to be that easy. So maybe it just being a DLC, sort of like Virgil's downfall thing, and then even they can make it to where we're doing the gameplay of what happened to Virgil and who he actually had a relationship with when Nero was born, and then, you know, throw those clips and make it like a flashback of him having an altercation with Dante in Devil May Cry 3, and then fast forward to when he's trapped in hell. And then that's another part of gameplay that we can have with him trying to escape from hell and shit like that. And then the Nello Angelo character showing up and all that extra shit, and why he's actually Nello Angelo. Because I know I hear a lot of stuff, but like I said, I haven't read any comic books or novels, so I don't know if what people are saying is 100% true, or if they're saying it in the correct order, or, you know, just saying it the right way, period. Somebody could be trying to explain something to me, but I'm not understanding it because they're not saying it the correct way. So that is something that needs to be discovered, and we really do need to see, or have at least play through the stuff that was going on with Sparda, because I think just having a little reading isn't enough for such a key character, because I mean, he is the father of the main character. So I think that there most definitely should be, just sort of like how they did with Goku. You know, when Dragon Ball Z, I'm sorry, I'm spinning my ball, so if you hear my basketball, I'm spinning my basketball in my hand. But you guys remember how Goku, he was just this little ugly little brat who fell and bumped his head when he was smaller, and then they didn't actually dive into Bardock until Dragon Ball Z. So, you know, I think that that's something that should happen with this game. They should dig back into Sparda and give us more of a backstory on him, and make it DLC. Don't make it its own standalone game, because I don't think it'll work. I don't think it'll work. People have gotten so used to Dante and Virgil that they probably wouldn't want to play with anybody else. Hence, DMC Devil May Cry. But thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate your support. Please get in the comment section. Let me hear your thoughts about this. Do you guys think it should be DLC? I also had another idea in my previous 2 videos. I'll suggest those up in the corners, or you'll see them at the end. You can click on them and go and check those out and let me know what your opinions are on those 2 videos. But I also think that they should include Dante's Devil May Cry shop, because it has so much to do with the video game and the video game series, the lore of it all in general, that it's gotten so far into it to where people are actually hunting for devil arms. You know what I'm saying? Even in, what was it, Devil May Cry 4, the savior guy was hunting for devil arms and shit like that. He wanted Sparda, the Sparda sword, and you know what I'm saying, Trish ended up bringing it to him so that they could set the plan in motion. And it was a nice little twist that they added to the whole thing. It wasn't really so much of a twist because they didn't dive too far into it, but he did say that she was the one that helped us acquire the sword Sparda and all that extra shit. So hopefully they do think about that. It would have to almost be like a free roam thing, sort of, but not really, because when they do the shop thing, they should make it to where in that shop all of his devil arms are there. I'm talking about all the way back from Devil May Cry 1 all the way up until now, up until Devil May Cry 4. The demon sword with the little red arrows. I don't like saying the word, but you guys, it starts with an L. I'll probably put it on the screen or something like that. Cerberus from Devil May Cry 3, Agni and Rudra, Beowulf, the fire gauntlets he had in Devil May Cry 1, everything. I'm talking about everything. That shop should most definitely contain all the devil arms he's acquired. But like I said, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate your support. Be sure to give the video a like if you enjoyed, and if you like getting down in that comment section and having those discussions with me, I most definitely do respond when I can to all you guys' comments, and if I remember, because I have a very old man mind, so I forget a lot. So yeah, and you know what else to do. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.